So obviously your new project is Maharani, in which you play a politician who's like an arch nemesis to Huma Qureshi's character. But we've seen over the years a lot of actors and a lot of great actors have also played politicians. So when you play a politician on screen, so what is your sense of how you make it unique and how you don't repeat the cliches? What are those cliches? How do you avoid them?
Uh, this I've discovered in interviews only. I
Yeah.
never thought of this before actually. So my answer to that question is that I don't look at when I play somebody, I don't look at them from that angle, whether they're a politician or a bank manager or whatever. I don't look at what they do because that's not what interests me. What interests me who they are as a human being. So as you rightly said, cliche to avoid a cliche. So I don't play it like that. I don't play it like a politician. I make it. I try to make it as human as possible. That's why I think that's how probably you don't fall into the trap of playing a cliche so-called politician or whichever character you play.
Yeah. You call this experience of shooting one of the greatest of your life. So what was so great about it?
A lot of things. I basically Subhash Bhai was just really phenomenal in order to kind of bring me out of my comfort zone. Every actor, we all actor have our tricks of the trade. We use them when we are acting. But this time he kept me on my toes and he never let me drown into my kind of way of performing. Also, this time I actually went a bit more. I made an effort. I had discovered a book in LA on acting, and I found out the person who had written the book, and he talks about how do you work on your text as an actor. So it's called taking the text off the pages. So Harold Guskin is a very popular name in Hollywood. So when I read his book, I tried to find out what exactly he was talking, because sometimes when you read, you don't understand what exactly he's talking about unless you see a practical aspect of it. So I basically started Googling and YouTube and I saw some videos, but still I couldn't find anybody who worked with him closely. And then I came across one YouTube video in which there was a name mentioned, Jasper from Copenhagen.
Okay.
And I was like, I started searching him, and then I found out a school that he teaches acting in. And I wrote an email to the principal of the school to connect me with this guy. So I got connected with him. And he is a guy who actually worked with him personally. He went all the way to LA to study what he was talking about. So I took coaching from him. And that I think made a huge difference also.
So can you give us an example of, in terms of the context of the show, how that education really helped you in this?
See, sometimes what happens, we actors, you learn your lines,
Yeah.
and then it's more of a memorized lines. You just go and then you just say them. But this time I understood that there is another way of looking at the same memorization. It's less of a memorization, more of bringing it out from some place that is really felt very deeply. That was a huge difference actually. I realized, and also I slowed down quite a lot first time. I'm always in a hurry. I'm also like a bit of a rush. I am always like that a little bit. So it also allowed me to slow down a lot while performing.
It's interesting that you talk about your education process, because I think years after you went to NSD, you said that you went again to a school
Yeah.
overseas
Yes.
to retrain.
Yes.
So why did you feel the purpose of that, to retrain yourself as
Because
an
you know
actor?
what happens, we get used to a certain kind of, it's like when you learn driving, if you're learning on a shift gear drive, then you initially you are wondering which gear and all that, but after a point you just like very naturally. So acting is same way. When you learn something, then you become so unaware of all the nuances and you get kind of carried away by one kind of approach to your performance. And I think that's why I think it's very important to in between go back to that raw, go back and become a student again, because becoming a student is not easy after you've done a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's very rewarding actually. If you I wish I could do more such things in the future also, like find new ways to looking at acting.
But what you learned overseas, how was it different from what you learned at NSD? And do you think is there any space that our educational institutes are lacking, whether it's NSD, FTII, that those people have kind of excelled?
Yeah, one major difference is that there is a lot of emphasis on the internal process of an actor while they are performing a character, which we lack. Because our background, our history starts from Parsi theatre, larger than life, a lot of folk forms, melodrama. We come from there, so most of our approach to characters is very external. Like we'll try and learn a lot about mannerisms and how one speaks and how one picks up a watch or a cup of coffee or whatever. The emphasis there is completely different. It's more of your own soul search that becomes part of your character, and I think that's where we are different. And actually now a lot of people, a lot of new actors, they've gone abroad. They study in New York and London, and people are going there, studying, coming back, bringing that here. Like what I studied, I brought it back here. I introduced Meisner, the technique that I learned. I gave demonstrations of it at times.